Perk, is there even another draft class that can compete with the class of '84?
Ooh, Rachel, listen, as bad as I want to go with Kobe in that 9-6 class or my 2003 class with LeBron James and Dwayne Wade and George truly Kendrick Perkins, I cannot go against that 84 class. Look, they have an all-time great center, Hakeem Olajuwon, all-time great point guard, John Stockton, an all-time great power forward in Charles Barkley, and arguably the greatest player in NBA history, Michael Jordan. Hell, Rachel, all they missing is a small forward.
I agree. We're all just caring about number 2 or number 3 on this list, and I would just say at number 2, I have to go with 96. Kobe, Ray Allen, Steve Nash, AI.
Ooh.
Even like Peja was on that, I think.
Yeah.
And I got to shout out my coach, Derek Fisher, I believe, was a part of that 96 class as well. So that's my number 2.
Okay.
Any year that gave the NBA Allen Iverson is a good year. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on to Election Day, which falls on November 3rd this year. It's now an official company holiday for both the Minnesota Lynx and Timberwolves. The CEO of both teams released a statement saying, quote, all employees will have the entire day off to be engaged citizens, ensure their voices will be heard. Now, San Francisco 49ers CEO Jed York saw the Minnesota announcement on Twitter, responded by saying he liked the idea so much, his team is going to do the same. So, Janae, we've seen some businesses do this as well. Do you expect more franchises to follow suit?
I definitely do. I think it's a good step forward for corporate responsibility, ensuring that, you know, their employees have the opportunity to exercise their liberty of voting. A lot of times work sometimes makes it a little bit more difficult, especially for, you know, disadvantaged communities. So to go out of the way to ensure that their employees, you know, can vote, I think it's a good look.
All right, Kendrick, before we go, I want to give you the opportunity to respond to your old teammate, Kevin Durant. He wrote on Instagram that he felt you are a sellout. This came in response to you criticizing Kyrie's methods for voicing his concerns about the NBA resuming play. Kendrick, those 2 words, there's a lot in there. What was your initial response when you read that from Kevin Durant?
Well, Rachel, is hurtful. As an African-American man, to be called a sellout, that means you turned your back on your culture and your community. And that's not what I've done. I've never turned my back on my culture or the African-American community. You know this. I've been on the jump on your show plenty of times, preaching and standing and fighting the fight for Black Lives Matter and social justice and whatever the case may be. So for KD to say that about me was very hurtful. But at the end of the day, you know what? I only could do what I could do, and I cleanse my soul, and I have no hate towards KD. I still love him as a brother. You know, I did my part in apologizing to Kyrie earlier today on First Take for saying, you know, calling him with the bird statement. But I did my part. My soul is cleansed. The rest is out of my hands.
And you've also had some dialogue with Dwight Howard as well, right? Because I know that you were critical of him. What has happened between you and Dwight?
Well, what happened was Rachel, I posted our clip from the jump yesterday discussing Dwight Howard, and I get a call. Well, I get a call last night from a 229 number. I answered, and it was Dwight, and we dove right into the conversation. It wasn't no arguing, but it was a little bit back and forth. But we was talking as real men, and I understand where he's coming from. He was very passionate about what he believed in and what he's standing for, and I was right there with him. But my whole thing, like I told you once before, you got to have a plan, Rachel. You got to have a plan in place, especially when you're trying to go against billionaire owners. Because when you look at them, they have all their ducks in a row. So when you're trying to make a statement as a powerful African American, as a basketball player as a whole, you got to be together in order to win that battle.
Janae, how are you guys on the WNBA side dealing with that? About, look, it's easy some way to have 30 owners, or in the W you've got a little bit less, but sort of be on one page. But with the players, you've got hundreds of players. So how do you sort of work it so you can be powerful together?
I think one thing we've realized overall, whether it's being a basketball player, a part of the WNBA Players Association, division doesn't help any cause. Being united is the most important thing, and especially if you have a voice, as Perk mentioned, using that collective voice with a plan. Like, as athletes, we love strategy. We love game plans. So if you have a group of people that believe a certain thing, you should strategize and then articulate that, and then maybe you'll have more success moving forward.
Yeah, and look, Michelle Roberts has said at the beginning of this week, what you are hearing right now is not players arguing, it is players discussing. I think that there is some real power behind those words.